Good morning, Fully Stops Christian. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. I got a book called The Essential Wisdom of Pope Francis, and for a lot of the book, it's basically just excerpts and quotes, whatever it may be, from different speeches or different sermons that Pope Francis has given. And there was one chapter called The Blessed Mother, and I thought that one of the most enlightening passages in the whole book there with Pope Francis was a very short sentence that he had to say about Mother Mary. And it just said, Mary was an expert in listening. Mary was an expert in listening. And to me, I kind of thought, well, that makes sense. I mean, if God's going to have to pick one lady to be the mother of the Son of God, then obviously somebody like Mary, who was very humble and was an expert in listening, can follow directions easily, turned out to be the right selection. And I think that we can really learn a lot from that. And, I'm sure my family would attest that, growing up, I was never short on having something to say. So I just always needed to be saying something. And I think I was just having that talkative personality, which I guess has led me to this point. But one of the things that I've thought about myself growing up is that, with all the talking that I've done and all the storytelling and all the stats that I've given for sports, it's kind of ironic that once I started working in television and once I started broadcasting professionally, I actually went the other way, and then I've become a better listener, I feel like, because it is a little bit ironic. You have a career in speaking, but in speaking, one of the things that I've learned is that I have to listen. I have to actually reverse those roles, and to be the most informed at what I do, I really have to take back and become a sponge for what everybody else has to offer. And if you become an expert in listening, you can really become an expert in anything. And we'll go to Philippians here. It's a great book in the Bible, a shorter book, but it's got a lot of essential wisdom. We'll go to chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves." And I think that people respond very well to humility, and it goes back to just being able to listen, being like Mary, being that expert in listening. Because if you can listen to the direction of God, if you can listen to the wisdom from the people around you to add to your life, then you're really setting yourself on a great path. And speaking of path, this is another verse that I've always liked from Philippians, chapter 3, verses 12 through 14. It says, "I don't mean to say that I've already achieved these things or that I've already reached perfection, but I press on to possess that perfection for which Christ Jesus first possessed me. No, dear brothers and sisters, I have not achieved it, but I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I press on to reach the end of the race and receive the heavenly prize for which God, through Christ Jesus, is calling us." And that's a really motivating verse right there, to forget the past, know that we have not reached perfection, but that's what we're striving for. And in the end, we'll reach that perfection at the end of our walk here with Christ Jesus. But along the way, today I think the message is, let's be more like Mary. Let's become an expert in listening and humble ourselves to see others as better than ourselves. Go forward on this Christian walk, leading people to the light by the way that we listen and by the way that we humble ourselves around them. So as we go to the communion table today, let's remember some of the best qualities of Mother Mary, and certainly one of those being the ability to listen.